Welcome to High School Sports Talk. I'm Harry Bernstein, and today we're going to talk with our 3 athletic directors from our high schools. Stay where you are. We'll be right back. And here we are at JFK High School, and we're talking with Sean Daly, the athletic director. Sean, we're going to talk about the season this year that just passed, the fall season over here at Kennedy. Tell us about the football team and how the kids did this year and how the fans were supporting the team.
Well, the football season started off great. It was we had lights were put up, so we finally had Friday night lights. Tons of people came out. Everybody likes to come out. Football games Fridays. The kids were very motivated. They worked hard all summer. Unfortunately, the season was not as successful as they would have liked, but they're young, they're working hard, and they look for an improvement next year.
How about the boys soccer team? Let's talk about the boys first.
All right, the boys soccer team had unreal amount of talent. Unfortunately for them, they just didn't believe in themselves. It took half the season before they really got into it. They started winning games, and by then the season was already too late, but they had won maybe 4 or 5 of their last 7 games, went seeded like 25th in the GMCs, upset the first team, upset the second team, and then had a great quarterfinal match against South River. I mean, they poured their hearts out. I think the sky's the limit. It just took a while for them to shake off the dust and truly believe in themselves. I mean, they are a talented team. Small but talented. So wow. I look for a huge improvement next year. Yeah. I mean, I know most of the guys are very excited to get back on the field.
Sounds like the beginning of a great solid team.
I think so.
There.
I do. I really do.
How about the girls soccer team?
Girls soccer team's young. We got volleyball now, girls volleyball, and right now they're feeding off of one another, where we would have athletic girls who would go out for soccer are now going out for volleyball, and the volleyball team is hugely successful. I mean, all in Woodbridge Township. So they're pulling some of the athletes that normally would have played soccer on there, so they didn't have as many student athletes as they would have liked. Young, raw, athletic, really a rebuilding year. We're not going to lose. We lose Crystal Carlucci, who's a all-division, one of the state leaders in saves and goalie. Probably not going to be replaceable, but backup is going to be fine. It's the offense that's going to have another year to grow, and I look for them to really strongly improve. I mean, their practice and their work ethic is second to none. So
yeah, sounds good.
They're close. Like, both soccer teams are
on the precipice.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you mentioned volleyball, and I saw the volleyball team from each of the high schools. I think they were all spectacular.
Unreal.
Talk about your team.
I mean, just the township in general. In the county, we were seated in the township 1, 3, and 5 in the county. Yeah. We were seated 3rd. They were white division champs. Their record right now slips my mind, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 22-4.
Wow.
Hosted a state game. Very young. Lose one very good. You got another person that's not going to be replaceable, Maglione, but younger kids will step up. But everybody else is back. I mean, sky's the limit. It's scary. They're scary. They're really good. And again, another team that works all summer long, goes to camps every day. Very excited, very cheerful, very upbeat.
The control of the ball, the way they pass to each other, bump and pass, and spiking.
I don't know. I can't even jump that high.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable.
That's a girl's height.
Yeah.
Boys' heights are higher, but they're. It's a big difference. You could see the differences in teams now.
It's great to see that volleyball has become such a big varsity
sport. They started
now.
in middle school, so I have to, I have to give the due benefit to the middle schools getting club teams together and having all not just like gym volleyball, but legitimate, realistic specs. So when they come up here, that's not like something new. So they are
ready to go.
Yeah.
What about cross country boys and girls?
They're phenomenal. I can't believe how many athletes we have that go out for it day in, day out. I mean, it's just running. and they run in cold, they run in hot. I mean, if you think about it, we start in July, they run through the heat, and then they just finished Saturday, November, what, 11th?
Wow.
Or 10th, November 10th, and running in, you know, freezing cold. Last year on Halloween, they had the counties, it snowed. It snowed this year as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they run through everything, and they never complain. Very good, very solid team. I'm looking for next year. We didn't win the division, but very close. A couple close losses.
How about the tennis, the girls' tennis program?
Another young one. We lose one senior. So you have first singles back, second singles back, third singles back. First doubles is the only senior that we lose, and we have second doubles coming back. So everybody's underclassmen. Our second singles is a sophomore. Verda Ahmed, our first singles was all division. Our second singles is only a sophomore, Jessica Matu. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year as well.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like I just keep saying the same thing next year, but I mean,
they're building.
It's a building, you know, and then the younger kids come up, they fill in those spots.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a lot of upperclassmen, you know, that are really standing out, so it's good to have the youth.
Now, I know that you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so
Unfortunately.
as a Giant fan, I have to say sympathies to you.
Yeah, I know.
But,
it's my life growing up in the Giants area.
Well, the Eagles have been very good for a long time. Giants
But
have always
never
had a
win
problem
it.
with it. Well, but Michael Vick recently, as we're taping here, had a serious concussion. Isn't it great that on a high school level now we're paying attention? Well, everybody is, the pros and the college and high school, to concussions. Can you talk briefly about that?
Yeah, two things. One, the NJSIAA, our governing body, requires that every single coach takes a mandatory concussion online test every year. So all our coaches are certified in recognizing concussion symptoms. Number two is our district is getting together, and we are really evaluating a concussion model to evaluate every single student, not student athletes, every single student, to get a baseline to what a concussion actually is and the severity of it.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. It's a movement forward. You know, we're actually a little behind some of the other schools in the area, but they've spoke so highly upon it that, you know, now we're starting to get it. You know, we're not going to be the last people, but the technology that's out there to prevent concussions and to recognize the symptoms is going to be monumental. You know, back in the day, you bumped your head, you get back out there, and you
got your bell rung, and you go back out.
Yeah.
And now they know you need some time.
You need time. Yeah. It's actually, you know, the brain gets shifted and moved, and
Jiggle it
you know, you can really do a lot of damage, and it can damage other things. You know, different nervous parts of the nervous system. So that's
right. So, we just have a minute and a half left. Could you speak briefly about the sports that are coming up? We only have a minute and a half, but I mean, we have
tomorrow. All right, November 15th, we start competition cheerleading, bowling, swimming, and ice hockey. So those come up tomorrow. On November 26th, which thankfully I used to be a wrestler, we started the day after Thanksgiving. They got rid of that, but November 26th is the Monday after Thanksgiving. Wrestling, boys and girls basketball, and winter track, both boys and girls.
So it looks like the sports just continues on.
They go all around now. They never stop.
What's the biggest kick you get out of being an athletic director?
I like watching the kids win. Even that first victory. No one here lost everything. So watching their first win, it is priceless.
And yet, Lombardi, what do you think of Lombardi's statement? Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On the other hand, what's the value you get out of being on a team, win or lose?
You know, win or lose, it's not the wins and the losses. Like, yeah, that's in the record column. That's what you're going to go home with. I believe it's how you play the game. And if you're happy with what you put in, then there's no measure for
You're a winner if you did
your
best.
That's right.
Sean Daly, athletic director here at JFK, thanks so much for sharing with us. I'm sure we'll talk to you a little later on in the season after we wrap up the next season. Everybody, we'll be right back with another athletic director. Stay with us.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money.
And we're back. We're here at Woodbridge High School talking to the athletic director, Joe Ward. Joe, welcome to the show. And
thank you for having me.
Joe, we're going to ask you a little bit about the teams that just finished up. And we have one team that's still working, and that is football. As we're taping here today, we have a big game coming up against Sayreville. Tell us about the football team. After last year's championship year, how are they doing this year?
They're doing great. We graduated a tremendous senior class last year. And the kids who have returned this year have really stepped up and done well, and Coach Nyers and his staff are doing a great job with them. 6-3 in the regular season, and first round matchup with Sayreville. Once you're in the playoffs, you never know. We've been the 8th seed before and knocked off the #1 seed a couple years ago when we played Union, so hopefully we're going to do it again.
Nice to have Coach Nyers back in the big seat there. Yeah, he's
Yep.
enjoying himself, I think, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what about the boys soccer team?
The boys soccer team was much improved this year. They quadrupled their number of wins from last year, and just missed out on making it into the state playoffs, but they got a young squad coming back. They don't graduate too many seniors, so the future of that program looks good.
Girls soccer team?
Girls soccer, we have graduated over the course of the last 5-6 years some tremendous soccer players, and those girls battled their hearts out this year in a very, very tough red division where they unfortunately are overmatched, but they competed in every game. They were in every game. Unfortunately, their record doesn't show, how much heart they have, because they made us very proud with everything they accomplished on the field this year.
Great, great. What about cross country, boys and girls cross country?
Girls cross country had a very nice year. They one match away from tying for a second year in a row, a division title. They have a couple seniors who we're definitely going to miss, but they also have some young girls coming back, and we had a all-conference runner in Sabrina Roldan who just took tied for 10th place in the state sectionals this past week, but unfortunately she will not be advancing to the group championships.
Okay. And what about the volleyball girls? I'll tell you, all three schools, those volleyball teams,
Yes.
I wouldn't want to put together a team and try to take on any one of the three high schools.
Yeah, Woodbridge Township volleyball schools have really flourished of late, and our team included. We set a school record for most wins with 18 wins this year. We qualified for the state playoffs for the first time ever in girls volleyball. We had 4 girls make all division. We had 1 girl make all county, and our coach, Coach Calhoun, was the white division coach of the year. So it was a tremendous year for girls volleyball. Yeah.
How about the girls playing tennis this year?
The girls tennis team, I spoke about soccer being overmatched in the red division. Well, tennis finally was able to get out of the red division and go down the white division, and they had a tremendous improvement this year. And they also were the White Division Sportsmanship Award winners, which we always are big on sportsmanship here at Woodbridge High School. So when any of our teams win the Sportsmanship Award, we're very proud of them.
Now, looking forward to the next season, we have bowling and wrestling, and we have basketball and hockey and winter track and swimming coming up. Can you give us a little general preview of what to look forward to here?
We should be competitive in all the sports. Boys and girls basketball, we have a new coach, Coach Giello, in boys basketball. We have a nice group of returning players there, so we're very excited. Our girls basketball team has been very strong. Our winter track program, both on the boys girls side, have some really great runners, and we should do well in the many invitationals that we go to there. Wrestling will be competitive as always. Our boys and girls bowling program, we have the best bowling program in the state of New Jersey.
So many wins over the years, it's incredible.
We always say that the state of New Jersey is the best bowling state in the country. So we have the best bowling team in our estimation in the country, and the best program in the country. And this year, you know, our boys bowling team is coming off a tournament of champions with some good returning players. So we look forward to another good year with them as well. And our ice hockey team, we returned some really good players. And then we have some young guys coming in who have a lot of club hockey experience. So very excited about where our hockey program will be this year. Our swimming program is, you know, still kind of in their infancy and growing, so we're still building the swim program here. And, you know, everything across the board, I think it should be a great winter season.
Yeah. Now, in that bowling program, that's a family thing.
Yes.
A lot of the parents bowled here.
Absolutely.
And they passed the interest along to their kids. We have 3 bowling alleys in the township, so it's part of the reason why we're so good here at Woodbridge High School.
Yeah,
and throughout the township with bowling.
It just keeps going over and over every year. It's great.
Now, last year, Joe, I asked you about the Giants, and at that particular time, they had gone, as you have said, into the dumper.
Yeah.
And here they are again, as we're taping today, 3 games in a row where Eli's thrown for under 200 yards.
Right.
And what's going on, and are they going to get out of the dumper?
I believe they will. This time last year, I wasn't as confident, but you know, now I've learned. You know, Tom Coughlin's an amazing coach. I think they have great players that, for some reason, they have.
They have a November
mid-season
swoon. What
exactly.
is this? November swoon.
I don't know, but I'm a big proponent of running the ball and pounding the ball, and I think the Giants got to get back to that. When they played San Francisco, they established the run and they stayed with the run, and you know it worked for them that game. And now they seem to be getting away from that. So they got to get back to pounding that
Maybe
ball.
they need a little more Andre Brown and David Wilson, and a little less. Maybe Bradshaw's really hurt a little bit with his feet.
He might, but he's tough. I don't think it's Bradshaw. I think maybe, you know, offensive line a little, but
opening
you know,
up the
but
holes
stick
for
with
him.
it. If it's not working in the first quarter, you stick with the run and you try to keep pounding away and see what happens.
Phil Simms recently said that Eli Manning is not elite, talking about Dan Marino as elite, Johnny Unitas is elite, Peyton Manning is elite, and he said, and he got in a lot of trouble for it. Now, what do you think? Is Eli elite, or is he just real good?
I think Eli is elite, and he's in a little slump right now. But I think he's definitely elite. 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Comes through in the clutch all the time. I don't know why Phil Simms said that. I love Phil Simms, and when I heard that, you know, I was bothered by that. But that's his job. He's you know, a TV commentator. That's what he gets paid to do. But you know, hopefully a month from now, 2 months from now, we're all talking about Eli being a great quarterback once again. But I'm not about to get down on him. He's, you know, bound for the Hall of Fame already, I think.
That's right.
You know?
And Carl Banks says that Eli can do it in the fourth quarter. He gets it done in the fourth quarter. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings and 2 MVP Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
So he considers him elite. Now, Phil, on the other hand, is saying when you compare Dan Marino's precision.
Yes, but how many Super Bowls does Dan Marino have?
He doesn't have any.
He has none. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Joe Ward, thanks a lot for sharing with us, and good luck for the kids in the new season, and good luck as we're taping today against Sayreville with the football team, and we'll see you again real soon. Everybody, stay with us. We'll be right back with the Colonia High School Athletic Director. Do not go away.
Take my hand and start a brand new day.
Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
And here we are at Colonia High School with Ron Weisenstein at the athletic director's beautiful looking office here. Actually, we're in the conference room. Ron, let's talk about the seasons that just passed, and let's start right now. As we're taping, we have a big football game against Jackson Liberty this weekend. Now, this isn't going to be on the air for about 2 weeks, so be careful how you predict here. But how did the football team do this year?
We had a very good year. We finished 8-1. Our only loss was to Carteret, who was a very good team. They were ahead 19-0. We tied it 19-19. Yeah. And then you know, we eventually lost at the end, but we're 8-1. We got some good power points, and we're able to host a first round, and we feel confident that we could do well in this game.
Big comeback win against the Barons too. I mean, they had you there, and then you came back.
Very exciting, very exciting. We had the blocked field goal, but yeah, we're very anxious. We're excited, and we're looking forward to playing the game.
And Eric LeGrand continues to still motivate all the kids, right?
He's great. It's very motivating when he shows up to the games. The kids love him. Everybody goes up to him. He's definitely an inspiration. We love him.
Yeah, he just put a book out now all about how his life is still full of hope and inspiration, and everybody's enjoying it.
Yeah, we're definitely blessed to have him around.
Now, what about the soccer boys and the soccer girls teams?
Boys and girls, they were very competitive. They both finished below 500, but they were very competitive. A lot of one-goal losses, a lot of close games, but they're always a tough out. And, we're looking forward to, building and getting ready for next year.
Sounds good. What about cross-country boys and girls?
Cross-country, we have a lot of kids who come out for the sport to stay in shape for other sports. We don't necessarily win a lot of races, but we have a lot of dedicated kids. They really enjoy coming out and doing their personal best and really keeping in shape and preparing themselves for other sports. We got a great bunch of kids. We didn't win that many meets, but the kids are great. They love it. The coaches work well with them, and we got a great bunch of kids.
Now, volleyball throughout the 3 high schools, all 3 girls teams are like awesome. Your school last year, you won the county championship?
Yeah, we won the GMC tournament 2 years in a row. This year we lost in the semifinals, but I think we finished with 3 losses. We just recently lost in the Group 3 state quarterfinals to Paramus, so we had another successful year. We went far in the group tournament.
They really play very well. I've seen them play, and I'll tell you, if we grabbed a bunch of guys and competed against them, I think we would lose.
They're pretty tough.
Yeah.
They're pretty tough. Well-disciplined team, good team, hard workers. They play hard. They're a tough out.
Yeah. How about that tennis team? How'd the girls' tennis team do this year?
Tennis team, they didn't win too many matches, but the kids are great. They love the sport. We had a brand new coach, Coach Grant. She, motivated the kids. The kids had a lot of fun. They enjoyed playing the matches. We're looking to try to, piece things together and get a little better next year. But most important thing is kids had fun. They love the sport.
And learn the skills the right way.
Great bunch of kids.
So important.
Especially with them, we're not worried about the wins. We're just worried about them, enjoying themselves.
Right, right. Now, what about this season coming up? I mean, you got bowling and swimming and hockey and so many things going on, and basketball. How do things look? Kids motivated?
The kids are motivated, especially with the storm we just had. The kids were out for a while. They're looking to really get back into things and get rolling. And today we actually start bowling and hockey and swimming. And right after Thanksgiving, the rest of the sports start. Everybody's anxious and just raring to go.
How did the storm affect us? Did it throw off the timing of things? Were you on the phone? Well, your phones aren't even working because of the storm, right?
That was a good thing, though. It was nice and quiet. But it affected it because they ended up pushing the volleyball season and the football season back a little bit. So there's going to be more of an overlap between the two sports. But if our football team goes far, which is a good problem, of course, it'll affect some kids as far as getting a late jump with the winter sports. Otherwise, it doesn't really have much of an effect on that.
Okay. Now, you come from a business background, so I want to ask you an interesting kind of question. If you were coaching right now and you were thinking in terms of your business background, how would that affect your coaching? How would it be different maybe than the way other coaches look at things?
Teachers in the business department and myself tend to be very organized, very well prepared, disciplined as far as our planning goes. Things work progressively. You learn one skill, then you go to another skill. I think that's probably the type of attitude we would bring to coaching the team.
So it would be all written down in one step
well
after
planned,
another step.
well planned. Yes.
Yeah. What are the benefits of joining a team? If I'm a junior high school youngster, middle school youngster looking now, why should I come out and join the cross-country team or the football team? What are the benefits?
Well, certainly, first of all, there's plenty of things to be involved with. I mean, you have to really make an effort to not be involved. We have so many different clubs and teams. Obviously, being involved gives you a chance to participate in something, learn discipline, learn teamwork, learn cooperation, represent your school. I mean, the alternative is going home and playing video games and watching TV and not doing anything productive. This way, it keeps, in a lot of ways, it keeps people out of trouble who may be marginally on the fence as far as proper behavior. They need the sports to keep them well-grounded, keep them on the good path, and I think that's probably the best benefit.
What have you learned about yourself since you left the business teaching area and became an athletic director, and you're working all day and all night and on weekends? What have you learned about yourself?
Well, I've certainly learned that you can never predict what's going to happen the next day. Every day is unpredictable. It's different. I always have a written list of things I'm going to do when I come in, and more often than not, I don't even get a chance to get to them because certain things come up. And not necessarily bad things, just things that come up that I wasn't prepared for, that were gonna come up.
A referee can't make it.
Exactly. Referee can't make it. A team cancels. My coach is out. My coach is ill.
late.
Bus is late. There's just a lot of things that tend to come up. So you got to be hopping. You got to be active. You got to be as prepared as you can be, and then be able to make decisions on the fly and correct things as fast as you can. And that comes with experience.
How do you deal with the stress of the job when the day ends? How do you release that energy? Because it must be a go-go from the minute you walk in until the minute you leave.
Yeah, it is. My phone rings a lot, but I explain to my coaches that that's part of the job. I have to be available to them because I have to help them out when they need decisions to be made or when they need arrangements to be made. But I myself, I like to exercise as often as possible. I go to the gym. I work out as much as I can to release the stress and stay fit.
Right, right. Well, Ron Wisenstein, thank you very much for sharing with us over here at Colonia High School. Good luck to the kids in this next season. And thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week with some other coaches from our Woodbridge Township schools. Make it a great day. Take care.